Hello everyone, welcome to LRNR classes. So today let's discuss about the topic pollination. So what is pollination? It is a process where transfer of pollen grain occurs from anther to stigma of a flower. Okay, it may be same flower or it may be another flower. So it is a transfer process where pollen grain transport from anther to stigma. So it is of two types. One is self pollination and another one is cross pollination. Okay, so what is self pollination? If the anther of a flower, okay, if the anther of a flower transfers to stigma of same flower or another flower, transfer to stigma of same flower or another flower of सेम मदर प्लांट, लेकिन वो प्लांट सेम होना चाहिए. एक ही प्लांट से अगर एक फूल से आंतर दूसरे फूल से जा रहा है और वही फूल के स्टिग्मा पर लैंड कर रहा है, सो दैट टाइप ऑफ पॉलिनेशन इज कॉल्ड सेल्फ पॉलिनेशन. ओके, सो अगेन इट इज ऑफ टू टाइप. वन इज ऑटोगामी, नेक्स्ट वन इज गिटनोगामी. सो ऑटोगामी मीन्स as I have discussed, as I have told you that anther is transferred to the stigma of same flower or another flower. If it is the same flower, then it is called autogamy. If it is another flower, then it is called gitnogamy. Okay, अगर अंतर एक ही फूल का अंतर वही फूल के स्टिग्मा पर पड़ रहा है, so that is called autogamy, लेकिन same mother plant. Okay, अगर एक फूल का अंतर और एक फूल के स्टिग्मा पर पड़ रहा है लेकिन सेम मदर प्लांट, एक ही प्लांट के, दैट इज कॉल्ड गिटनोगामी. ओके, सो अगेन ऑटोगामी इज ऑफ टू टाइप्स. वन इज होमोगामी, नेक्स्ट वन इज क्लिस्टोगामी. ओके, होमोगामी मीन्स if in flower the both sex organs, that means androecium part and gynoecium part, both organs mature at same time, mature at same time. Okay, then if the anther transfers to the stigma, then pollination can be occur. Okay, so this type of pollination is called homogamy type pollination, and it occurs in the open flower or chasmogamous flower. Open flower or chasmogamous flower. Next come to clistogamy. Clistogamy means it occurs in the closed flowers. This clistogamy type of pollination occurs in the closed flower. Or clistogamous type flower. Okay, so here in this type of pollination, the anther bursts inside the flower. Okay, the pollen sac bursts inside the flower and the anther directly lands on the stigma of flower. Okay, so that type of pollination is called clistogamy type pollination, and it occurs in the clistogamous flower or closed flower. Okay, so next come to cross pollination. What is cross pollination? The opposite of सेल्फ पॉलिनेशन. सेल्फ पॉलिनेशन में क्या हुआ था? इफ द अंतर, अगर एक फूल का अंतर वही फूल के स्टिग्मा और सेम मदर प्लांट का और एक फूल के स्टिग्मा पर पड़ रहा है, देन दैट टाइप ऑफ पॉलिनेशन इज कॉल्ड सेल्फ पॉलिनेशन. नेक्स्ट क्रॉस पॉलिनेशन मीन्स इफ द अंतर ऑफ ए वन फ्लावर लैंड्स एट स्टिग्मा ऑफ another flower, stigma of another flower, okay, of different mother plant. Either it is same species or it is different species. Either it is same species or it is different species. Okay, if it occurs within the same species type flower, then it is called xenogamy type cross pollination. If it occurs the different species type flower, then it is called hybridization type cross pollination. Okay, so this is about the types of pollination. So let's discuss about the merits and demerits of self pollination and cross pollination. So first come to merits of self pollination. So first one is that it does not require any external agency. Agency means if pollination occurs by some agency, that is through wind, through water, okay, through insects, through birds. These are the agents, okay, and they help to transfer the pollen grain from one flower to another flower. So because it is the self pollination, the anther of same flower lands are the stigma of same flower or same mother plant flower. So it does not require any external agency. So pollination occurs easily. And here no energy loss. Okay. So the flowers are having bright color, more nectar rich, okay, fragrance. So next one is it is more economical because here less pollen grain wastage occurs. Okay. So next, here improved varieties of crops can be produced because it is genetically pure. Okay, so it remains genetically pure. So in the self pollination, the improved varieties of crop can be produced. Next, come to about demerits. So in the demerits point, the self pollination may produce weaker progenies. Why? ना अगर सेल्फ पॉलिनेशन में अगर किसी प्लांट में कोई डिफेक्टिव जेन प्रेजेंट रह गया है, नेक्स्ट क्या होगा, वही प्लांट से सेल्फ पॉलिनेशन होगा, सो प्रोजेनी में भी वही डिफेक्ट जीन प्रेजेंट रहेगा. सो दैट्स व्हाई इट मे प्रोड्यूस वीकर प्रोजेनी. अगर कहीं भी कुछ भी डिफेक्ट आ जाए, सो द continuity of self pollination leads to weaker progeny and it harms the immunity system of the plant body. Okay, so next come to next one, it can produce less number of seed having poor quality. Okay, the seeds may have the poor quality because continuous self pollination occurs generation to generation. Okay, so next, no variation occurs. Okay, because the genes of same mother plant involved, because here no outer gene is involved in this pollination, in this fertilization. So here no variation occurs and the seeds or the progenies can have low immunity. So next come to merits of cross pollination. Okay, so in the cross pollination, the outer gene can be involved. Okay, the different species gene or different mother plant gene can be involved. So here the progenies can be developed into a healthier plant and produce numerous seeds having better qualities. Here better quality of seed can be produced and with many number. Okay, but here less number of seeds can be produced in the self pollination. And here variation occurs because outer gene is involved in the fertilization process and in the pollination process. So here variation can be occurred, but in self pollination no variation occurs. Okay, so plants may have new desired characters. Okay, next it helps in process of hybridization. Okay, if the pollination occurs between two different species, then it is called hybridization type cross pollination. So this cross pollination can helps in the process of hybridization type process. Next come to demerits. It requires external agency for cross pollination by wind, by water, by your insects, birds. So it requires any biotic or non-biotic agency for pollination to transfer the pollen grain from one flower to another flower. So next one is here more energy loss for producing bright color, nectar-rich and fragrance type flowers. Okay. Next come to more wastage of pollen grain occurs. In the cross pollination, more pollen grain wastage occurs, especially in the wind pollination time. Next, it may produce some undesirable characters. Okay, if there is any defective gene is involved from outer plant or other species, then it may produce some undesirable characters. So this is all about your merits and demerits of self pollination and cross pollination. So let's discuss about the agencies of pollination. So as we know, cross pollination involves some agents, okay, to transfer of pollen grain from one flower to another flower of different mother plant. Okay, So there are two types of agents. One is abiotic agents and another one is biotic agents. So among abiotic agents, pollination by wind. Wind may be an abiotic agent and water may be an abiotic agent. So by wind if pollination occurs, then that type of pollination is called anemophily type pollination. And that flower, that pollinated flower is called anemophilous flower. Okay. If pollination occurs by water, then that type of pollination is called hydrophily type pollination, and that flower is called hydrophilous flower. Okay. Then come to biotic agents of pollination. If pollination occurs by some animals or by some organisms, then that type of pollination is by biotic agents. And the pollination occurs by insects, then that is called entomophily type pollination, and that flower is called entomophilous type flower. If pollination occurs by bird, then that type pollination is called ornithophily pollination, and flower is called ornithophilous flower. If pollination occurs by bat, bat is not grouped among the bird, bat is a mammal. So if pollination occurs by bat, then that type of pollination is called chiropterophily pollination, and the flower is called chiropterophilous flower. If pollination occurs by snails and slugs, then pollination is called malacophily type pollination, and flower is called malacophilous flower. Okay. So let's come to different adaptations in different pollinated flowers. So let's come to adaptations in anemophily type pollination. Okay. So in the flower which are pollinated by the wind, the flowers are called anemophilous flowers. So in this type of flowers, the flowers are inconspicuous and not showy. Inconspicuous means the flowers is not clearly visible, okay, and well not attractive to eye. Okay, so it is devoid of fragrance. The flowers have without any fragrance, without bright color, and without nectaries. Okay, next they produce large number of pollen grains. Okay, because in wind pollination many numbers of pollen grain can be wasted. Okay, so considerably some amount of pollen grain can be pollinate a flower. So here more amount of pollen grain can be wasted. So anthers are versatile and swimming freely in air, so that it can easily land on the stigma of a flower. Okay. Next, pollen grains are dry, okay, light and smooth walled, because the pollen grains can be easily carried out by air and pollinate to the another stigma. Next, stigma is large, branched and capable of catching the pollen grain from air. Here adaptation in stigma is large, stigma is large, okay, branched, and the stigma is adapted in such a manner that it can capable to catch the pollen grain from air. Okay, so stamen and carpels are more developed, but calyx and corolla are almost reduced or absent. Okay, so different examples are different cereal plants, oca, poplar, palms, grasses, ghee, sorghum, sugarcane, cannabis, okay, pinus, utrica, etc. These are the examples of anemophilous type flower. So let's come to the adaptations in hydrophilous flowers. So these are the following adaptations. So first, the flowers are inconspicuous. That means it is not much more attractive to eye, okay, and is not clearly visible, and it is devoid of bright color, fragrance or nectarage. Okay, the flowers having without bright color, without fragrance and without nectarage. Then the perinath membrane. Perinath membrane means, as we have already discussed, the just undifferentiation of calyx and corolla membrane is the perinath membrane. Okay, corolla and calyx का जो मिलकर एक membrane बनता है एक flower में, that membrane is the perinath membrane. And the perinath membranes are waxy coating and widely open, so that it can easily catch the pollen grains which are transported by the water. Next, large numbers of pollen grain are produced without exine, waxy coating and having light weight. Okay. Next, the stigma is sticky and waxy coated to easily catch the pollen grain. So that pollen grain can be easily attached to the stigma. Okay, next the flowers are mainly unisexual and they may open underwater or at surface of water. Okay, if the underwater flowers are pollination occurs, then that is called hypohydrophily. If pollination occurs underwater, then that is called hypohydrophily. If pollination occurs at surface of water, then it is called epihypohydrophily. Epihypohydrophily. Okay, so there are different examples of hydrophilous flower: Zostera, okay, Vallisneria and Ceratophyllum. So different examples are the hydrophilous flower. So let's start about different adaptations in entomophilous type flowers, the flowers which are pollinated by insect. Okay, so the flowers are bright color and having pleasant fragrance and having also nectary gland, so that with bright color flower the insect can be attracted easily. Okay, next the calyx and corolla part. Okay, the calyx and corolla part are well developed in the flowers. Okay, and few numbers of pollen grain are produced with pollen kit. Okay, because here more wastage of pollen grain cannot be is not occurred. So in the insect pollinated flower, okay, insect pollinated flower, we know that the pollen grains have two layers. Okay, outer is exine and inner is intine. So in case of insect pollinated flower, one extra surrounding layer is produced, that is called pollen kit, and it provides the protection when it is carried out by insects. Okay, so pollen kit is developed only in insect pollinated flower. Next, the stigma is short, rough and sticky, and style is usually unbranched. Okay, and especially the flowers which are bloomed during night time, and the flowers are white color, so that it can easily attracted by the insects. So different examples are salvia, hibiscus, rose, lotus, jasmine, helianthus are different examples of insect pollinated flowers or entomophilous flowers. So let's discuss about the adaptations of ornithophilous flower, which is pollinated by bird. So this type of flower is not so common, but some birds like hummingbird, sunbird, honeyeater bird, these birds visit the flower and involve the pollination process. Next, the adaptations are flowers are large, okay, showy and having bright color, so that the birds can be easily attracted towards the flower. Okay, and they are also scentless, no fragrance is required. Then the copious and mucilaginous nectar is produced. The nectar produced by the nectaris gland of the flower, the nectars are mainly copious and mucilaginous, and the main ingredient is the sugar, so that the bird can use it as its drink. Next, the pollen grain are sticky and large in number. More numbers of pollen grains are produced in this type of flower. Flowers are tubular, cup-shaped and mainly urn-shaped flowers, so that the beak of the bird can be entered into the flower and pollination can be occurred. Okay, so different examples are Anthocephalus, which is the main we can see in our surrounding environment, and in ODI it is called Kadamba flower. Okay, so in Malacophily we know that the Malacophily is the pollination occurred by snails or by sloths. Okay, so it is the example the Arisema or arum lily. Okay, the Malacophilous flower example is the Arisema and the arum lilies. So next come to adaptations of Chiropterophilous flowers. Okay, the pollination occurs by bats. Okay, bat is grouped under the mammals class. So this type of pollination is called Chiropterophily type pollination. So in this type the flowers are large, tough and generally opens at night. Okay, because bat is a nocturnal animal, so their flowers bloomed at night and having a strong shade. Okay, just like a rotten fruit. So due to strong shade, the bats are attracted towards the flower. Okay, and the nectar is copious nectar and mucilaginous nectar. Okay, large numbers of pollen grains are produced also in this type of flower, and flowers are mainly dull in color because there is no bright colors required, and the birds are attracted mainly because of strong scent of flower. Okay, and examples of Caryophyllae flower is Anthocephalus और कदम्बा, ओडिया में उसे कदम्बा flower बोलते हैं. Okay, so next come to Malacophyllae. As we know, Malacophyllae is the pollination occurs by snails and slugs. So it is the example of Malacophilous type flower, Arisema flower. The common name of this plant is called cobra plant, and also another example is called arum liliums. Okay. So this is all about your Caryophyllae and Malacophyllae. Next come to Ornithophyllae type flower. So let's discuss about the adaptations in Ornithophilous flowers. Okay. So adaptations are flowers are large, showy and brightly colored so that it can easily attracted by the wards, and the flowers mainly scentless flowers. Okay. So this type of pollination is not so common, but some birds like hummingbirds, some birds or the honey eater bears, and they visit the flowers and doing the pollination in the flower. And the nectar is copious, mucilaginous, and sugar is the main ingredient in this nectar, and plenty of nectar is produced so that the bird can use it as its drink. Okay. Next, the pollen grains are sticky. Okay, the pollen grains are sticky so that it can easily adhere to the stigma of the flower. Next, the flowers are mainly tubular, cup-shaped and urn-shaped because the beak of the bird can be easily entered into the flower, into the stigma of the flower. Okay, and the examples of Erythrina and Agave americana. So these are the main examples of Ornithophilous flower. So this is all about the type of pollination, what is pollination, types of pollination and the agencies of pollination. Thank you.